Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear postgraduate students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Dr. Abir Khadar Jamil, the teacher of Academic English 1. I will be with you in the first semester to cover the syllabus of the Academic English 1 module. In this presentation, we will focus on the context of Lecture 1, which is the reading part of Unit 1, pages 4 and 5. The source of academic English lectures is the book of Academic Skills, Reading, Writing, and Study Skills, Level 2, by Sarah Philpott. This textbook contains 10 units. In the first semester, we will cover the first 5 units, and in the second semester, we will cover the remaining parts. Each unit of the first 5 units that we will cover in the first semester contains 3 main parts, which are reading skills, writing skills, and vocabulary development skills. Regarding reading skills, each reading section contains 1 or more texts which students use to develop different study skills. These study skills are clearly detailed in study skill boxes, which you can see in a different part in different pages. These study skills are linked to specific practice exercises. The texts of reading are of various types and styles which students will come across during the course of their academic studies, including scientific reports, articles, biographies, web pages, and data presented through graphics. Regarding writing skills, each writing section has clear outcomes from the students in terms of the type of text they may be asked to produce in other subjects, including summary writing, a description of a graph, and writing from notes. Skills covered include brainstorming, paragraphing, and organizing ideas, linking idea, and error correction. Regarding the third part, which is vocabulary development, the vocabulary section contains skills and strategies which help students to develop good vocabulary learning and recording techniques. It encourages them to become more autonomous learners by making them more effective users of dictionaries, helping them to work out meaning of new words, and encouraging them to keep coherent and well-organized vocabulary records. Also, at the end of each unit, there is review part. In the review section, students are given the opportunity to reflect on skills learned, to practice and develop them further, and to consider how these could be applied to their academic studies. The title of the first unit is International Students. It's about the students who are going to study abroad. The first part, reading skills, aims to introduce students to the importance of following instructions. For example, there are some instructions in some forms, in essay, for example, essay questions, or in some application. Students have been followed to write or fill an application. Then, following instructions is the topic of the first lecture. In the second lecture, we will continue to cover the second part of reading skills, which is the reading method. The aim of reading methods section is to introduce students to different reading strategies. Students will be encouraged to reflect on how the reading skills presented and practiced here can be applied to their other studies. This will be covered in the second lecture. In the second lecture, we will cover also the writing skills section, which contains two parts. The first one is checking your writing. In this section, the aim of this section is to encourage students to be critical of their own written work and to develop the habit of checking their own work systematically, in this case for errors of punctuation and spelling. Then we will move to learn how to write an informal email. Students will also produce their first piece of written work for this course, an informal email. In the third part, which will be covered in the third lecture, we will focus on the vocabulary development, specifically a dictionary entry. And in this section, we need to bring our dictionary with us. The aims of this section are to make students aware of how a dictionary can help with their studies in English, and to encourage them to keep effective and accessible vocabulary records. This will be covered in the second part, which is recording vocabulary. Let's start with the first part or first section, which is reading section, specifically going abroad to study and how to follow instruction, which is the topic of the first lecture. In page 4, number 1, personal information often appears on documents, especially official documents. Official documents means the documents that are used for official using, such as birth certification, bank statement, driving license, or exam certificate. Use the ideas in the books to say what personal information is on. For example, we have these books with different information. Includes name, the name of the person, date of birth, address, parents' names, grades, driver number, account number, name of school or university, and place of birth. What should we do is to assign this information to these 4 official documents. Let us start with the first document, which is the birth certificate. In the birth certificate, the information that should be contained in this certification is name, yes, date of birth, yes, address, maybe, parents' name, yes, grades, no, driver number, no, account number, no, Name of school or university? No. A place of birth? Yes, it should contain. Then the birth certification should contain the name of the person, date of birth, parent's name, and the place of birth, and may contain the current address of the parents. Let's go back to one and go to the second document, which is a driving license. The main information should be included in the driving license document are name, yes, date of birth, yes, address, maybe, yes, parents' names. Parents' names, in our culture, we use parents' names as supplementary information for the ID, for the personal information. So in our country, the driver license contains parents' name. In other countries, it may not contain parents' names. Grades, no. Driver number, yes, should contain driver number. Account number, name of school or university, place of birth. These last three information are not important to be contained in the driver license. Then the driving license should contain the person name, the parent's name, address, and driver number. Let's go to the third document, which is a bank statement. A bank statement, if we have account in a bank, then we should have a bank statement. And the information that this document contains are name of the person, date of birth. Sometimes it is important to know the age of the person, the address, yes, parent's name. Again, in our country, the parents' names are used in most of the documents. Grades and driver number are not important here. Account number, yes, it is very important in the bank statement, but it is not important to write the name of school and the place of the birth. The bank statement contains name, parent's name, address, and the account number. Let's go back to an exam certificate. An exam certificate is for students have finished a course, and it should contain the name of the student, the date of the birth, it is not important, address, not important, parent's name, again, in our country, it is important. The grades, yes, it should contain the grades. Driver number and account number, are not used here, but we should write the name of the school or university in the exam certificate. And the place of the birth is not important. Then we can say that exam certificate contains name, parent's name, grades, name of school or university. Now we are going to the second question, or second subsection. Simon Elliot lives in Geneva, Switzerland. He is returning to the UK to study. UK means United Kingdom. United Kingdom. Answer the questions. 1. Label the documents, which is passport, an informal letter, a formal letter, an application form. So we have 4 documents, and it is needed to label which is one of them is a passport, which is the formal letter, and which is the informal letter, which is the application form. This is the first one, A. Let us have a look and read the contents to decide which type of document is it. University of West London, apartment 25, Lac de Léman building, Geneva, Switzerland. Dear Mr. Elliot, we have pleasure in offering you a place at the University of West London to study for a master's degree, MSc, in applied biochemistry. The academic year commences on 10th of October and the classes start. So it is clear that it is an email from, or a letter from, University of West London to a student, which is his surname is Mr. Elliot. The first part of this letter contains the address, and we can see that the address starts with the apartment number, and then the name of the building, and then the city name, and then the country name. As the letter started with the family name or the surname of Simon, which is Elliot, and also this is a beginning, which is Mr., then we can say this letter is formal letter. This letter is formal letter because it is from university to a student. It is started with the family name of the student, and the writer used a beginning of the name, which is Mr., and also the style of the email, which is started with we have a pleasure in offering you a place. So it is a formal letter. B. Let's have a look and read the content to decide which type of document. University of West London. Please print. Use black or blue ink only. Tick the relevant boxes. Application for accommodation. It contains family name, first name, male, female, delete as appropriate, single, married, children, yes, no, number, date of birth, nationality, passport ID number, home address, postcode, country, course title, course start date, type of accommodation, host name, university hall of residence, shared house, special diet, and specify. So it is very clear that is application form. It is application form. Let's go to the third one. Apartment 25, Lac de Léman building, Geneva, Switzerland. Email simon.elot@gen.com. Dear John, just writing to let you know that I have got a place at West London University to do my MSc, so I'm finally coming back to London. I'm really looking forward to seeing you again. I'm not sure where I will be living. I'm applying for accommodation with a host family. That way I won't have to cook. I just hope that there is a vegetarian family available. As soon as I know my new address, I will email or ring you, and we can meet. Do you like the photos I have sent? Do you remember? So it is clear that is an email from Simon to John, his friend, and we can because it is from friend to friend, and it started with Dear John without beginning, and also without meaning like Mr. or Mrs. or Doctor, and also from the style of writing we can say that this letter is informal email. Let's go to the last one. United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland passport. So it is clear here, it is a passport. It contains passport number, surname, given names, nationality, British citizens, date of birth, date of issue, and date of expiry. So the last one is passport. Now let's go to 2. The question 2 is, where is Simon going? From the information we have read in the 4 documents, we understood that Simon is going to London. Simon is going to London. What is he going to study? He is going to study biochemistry. He is going to study master degree in biochemistry, in applied biochemistry. Who is John? From the informal email, we understood that John is Simon's friend. Let's go to 3. Look at the application form. What is it for? We had a look to the application form, and we understood from the title of the application it is for accommodation. Accommodation means a place of living. That's when students apply to study abroad, the next step after getting an offer of a place at a university is looking for a place to live. So some universities, or most of universities, provided students with the application of accommodation, in which students fill their information, personal information, and other information in this form, and according to this information, the university can help students to find an accommodation. Number 4, read the documents on page 4, which he means documents A, B, C, D. The letters, informal and formal emails, passport and application form. Use the information to complete the application form for Simon. We saw that the application is still not filled. Then he asked us to fill the application with the information that are mentioned in the other documents. And also we can see here there is a refer to the study skill, and we can find the same page 5. There is a box include the study skill that represent the aim of this part, which is following instructions. When filling in official documents, it is important to read and follow the instructions carefully. So, in the official documents, there are instructions. Students and other people should follow these instructions carefully in order to not refuse or reject this application. An example or or examples of instructions are: use black ink only. Some officials prefer black ink only, others prefer black and blue ink. Please print or write in block capital. He means that all letters should be written in capital letter. This is because sometimes when people use small letters, the letters will be not clear for the reader. So it is preferred to use a capital letter. Tick. When there are choices in the application, so there are some methods to choose. One of them is using a tick, like a tick on the option, the chosen or selected option. Sometimes use circle the correct answer, put circle around the option, and sometimes delete or cross out as appropriate. When the application is in Word document, we can delete the other option. For example, male and female, we can delete the incorrect option and just the correct option will be written. Sometimes we can use cross out, it means cross out on the incorrect option. Let's go back to please specify. Please specify mean give more details. And we have an example in the accommodation application form, as we will see now. In this application form, the instruction here, please print. Print mean write. Use black or blue ink only. So he asked the student to use either black ink or blue ink. And we can see here iLoad Study started to use blue ink. And also he asked to tick the relevant boxes, but sometimes we can see that there are some options we can delete like this. Now let us start to fill this application. The first one is family name. Family name, it means the surname. Surname in some application. For Simon, he is Elliot. First name or names. For example, my name is Abir Khudar Jamil. So Jamil is the family name. Abir Khudar is the first name. I can use Abir only, or I want to use Khudar as well, so I can write here Abir Khudar. So for Simon, his first name is Simon Elliot. For these questions about the sex, male or female, he is male, so he say here delete as appropriate. It means the incorrect option should be or could be deleted, so we can here delete female, then the right option will be male. Is Simon single or married? He is from the information. He didn't mention anything about a family or a wife or children, so it means he is single. Then the right option is single. We use tick. Is Simon have any children? No. Date of birth, we can find the date of birth in the passport. So his date of birth is 22nd of October 1989. His nationality also from the passport. He is a British citizen. The passport ID number also from the passport document. Home address, we can find home address from the email that sent to Simon and the other email that Simon sent to John. Then the home address is apartment 25, Lagdi Lemon Building, Geneva, the country is Switzerland. Regarding the postcode, some countries using postcode and it is mentioned in the information of address, so it can be written here. If we don't have, just say we don't have. Regarding course title is mentioned in the formal email that University of West London sent to Simon, and it is MSc degree in applied biochemistry. And also the course starting date, it is mentioned in the same email, and it was 10th of October, and I wrote the year to 2021 as it is the next year. Regarding the type of accommodation, it is mentioned in the email that Simon sent to John when he said that he is looking for host family. Then the type of accommodation he wants is host family. And also he asked about special diet if people or students have their special diet. For example, Simon, he said in the email that he sent to John that he's looking for vegetarian family. Then in this case he should write vegetarian food. Now we are going to the last part in this lecture, and it's about how and why do you read. What do you read? Take the different reading materials from A to J that you read. Textbooks, it means the books that are used in the courses, in the academic courses. Novels is very long stories. Emails mean electronic mails or electronic letters. Search engine finds, it means like, for example, using Google to find an information or sources. Journals, reports, timetables, indexes, dictionary, instruction manuals. So there are examples. We ask you to take what different reading materials you read. Number 6. Which reading materials from exercise 5 do you read for pleasure, for work, and for your studies? Make 3 lists. So in the first list, for pleasure, we guess that novels is used to read for pleasure, emails sometimes for pleasure, search engine finds also sometimes used for pleasure, journals for pleasure. For work, we guessed that emails is used for work, search engine finds also used as a read for work, reports, timetable, instruction manuals. For studies, we guess that textbooks is needed to be read for studies, emails as well, search engine finds, reports, timetables, indexes, dictionary, and section manuals also sometimes used for studies. Thank you, students, for paying attention in lecture 4 to lecture number 1. In the next lecture, we will continue to cover the reading part of Unit 1, and we will focus on the methods of reading. See you next lecture.